All right, happy Friday to you all. Hope you guys are doing well. Just want to do a quick update for you. I have not just found Wave 12, I've received Wave 12 because people are awesome. People are kind and generous. And so I'll have a thanks to Mr. V in New York who provided me with some cool Wave 12s. So let me show you what he sent me. Got a nice Ryan Blaney here. Nothing like a black and blue Brad Keselowski. Was that Cascadia? That's cool. A Matty D. Number 21 Motorcraft. Very cool. And then another Mustang. We got Michael McDowell's Daytona 500 Wave 12. So that is awesome. And then a couple trucks, because I love getting trucks, right? So I got another Ryan Preece, which was one that I also picked up myself, and then a Martin Truex. So Mr. V up in New York, God bless you. Thank you. And I want to share his cool note that I couldn't agree with more. He says here, making America great again, one custom diecast at a time. So how awesome is that, and it got me thinking, what makes America great? And I have thought about this, having kids and working with kids at church and ministry and things like that. One thing I think that makes America great and makes Americans great is taking responsibility. So if you're a young guy, which I think most of you are, I think I looked one time, and I may have said this before, but of all the people that have subscribed to my channel, the metric that I saw was it was 100% male. I didn't have any females subscribe to my channel, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't really care if you're male or female. At the end of the day, we talk custom diecast here. So, but one thing that makes America great is taking responsibility. And I think for you young guys, right? Some of you guys that are maybe junior high, high school age, even college, pick up something and carry it. Take responsibility. Get yourself involved in something and pour yourself into it and make it great. Strive to do your best in whatever interest you have. And, obviously I'm going to encourage you to do that for God's glory, not for your own selfish pride and build your own, pride up and your own self-esteem up. I think if you pour yourself into it and strive to do your best, take responsibility for it. Like I said, pick it up and carry it. You will be satisfied, right? You're going to fall, you're going to fail, but you'll be satisfied and you'll be able to lay your head down at night saying, you know what? I did X, Y, and Z today and it was good. I may have run into some problems, and you may be noodling in your head, right? As sometimes I do this, right? I get these problems, whether at work or home or projects I'm doing here, and I'll be thinking like, wow, this is how I'm going to improve, and this is how I'm going to do better the next day. That, I think, is why God made us. And we become somewhat self-sufficient, right? We have this independent spirit that we're going to pick this thing up, we're going to pick up this job, and we're going to solve this problem, and then we're going to move on and do it for something else, or do a different problem and solve a different problem. And that's how we go through life. And sure, we need to be depending upon God, giving us wisdom, giving us strength, giving us the understanding and knowledge that we may not see or we may not have. But at the same point, we're somewhat self-reliant in that we are taking responsibility for something being successful or not. And in a small way, that's what I try to do with these 164 customs, right? I try to make them to the best of my ability. I want to make a custom that's going to be in an adult collector's in a collection that an adult has of NASCAR diecast, and I want it to be the centerpiece. Not for my own glory, but I want it to be the best that I can make it for God's glory and to the satisfaction of those people that buy my customs. And so just a little pontificating this Friday, but wanted to share that with you. And again, thanks, Mr. V. God's blessings to you. And I will definitely use these cars as donor cars to make the best customs that I possibly can. I actually was thinking I probably need to roll back my Wave 12 search, because I've got plenty of cars, 2021 cars at the end of the day, whether they're Wave 11, Wave 9, Wave 8, Wave 10, whatever. I've got plenty of 2021 cars that I'll be able to make for years, and so no, it's just great. I mean, just so generous, and I appreciate that. So, all right, let's go down here. All right. Look at this Matt Kenseth 2020 Advent Health. So, like I said in my last video, I wanted to make this car. I've had these decals for a while, and so far I am so excited with how this is turning out. Okay, it's a very interesting decal set. This was before Pato changed his design and style of a water slide decal. But what I'm seeing here is a decal set that actually fits so nicely and perfectly almost onto these Chevy die-casts, right? So you can see here, and you know, I picked this up for a reason. So there's this large decal that goes on the side, and then you have all these other little smaller decals that go on top of this. And honestly, guys, that's the way I love it. If you're designing, Joey, and anybody else that designs, I love to have these the background as one solid decal, and then you have these separate ones. That way I can place them exactly, precisely where they belong. And so you got the McDonald's, the Credit One, all this stuff, right? And so let me show you how I did it on this right side of the vehicle. So getting this in place, you know, it was a little big, which is perfect. So much better to be a little big than to be a little small. And so I was able to trim this a little bit, and lay this in place. And of course I had to trim around here, but look how this lines up, right? This is nice and tucked against here. This fits very nicely in place here. And I'm looking at this teal color, and look at this. I didn't have to trim this one iota, and it fits perfectly around this back window. Let me get centered more in the camera here. Look at that. That is just, guys, that's got to be one of the first that I've ever seen of a decal set that does that. That's just beautiful. Trimmed a little bit up in here and tucked this. I've got a little bit of work here to do on this back corner. You can see I didn't quite cut it perfectly, but I'm letting it dry, and then I'll trim it and touch up the black once again. But this comes up over here, connects with this back piece here, and you can see it meets every criteria I would want. It comes along and hides the blue, and it's just sweet. One of the best decal sets I've ever worked with on a Chevy like this. I just love it. And then, of course, you know, this Credit One decal, the Advent Health, this Credit One, the B post here, the name, the M for McDonald's, even this piece, the point, the arrow that points to the jack for the Jackman, this Siemens decal here, this race car, this NASCAR Cup Series. All of this is all separate decals that I was able to come back over and lay on top once this was in place. And I can put it exactly, precisely where it goes. I love it. I just love it. So happy with how this is turning out. And then, of course, you've got this front, right? So this green piece across the front that goes all the way around was actually a little big. Again, I would much rather prefer it being big than small. So I trimmed it. I cut it basically into two. I've got one across here, so I was able to get this lined up over here, and then the other one line up over here, and they overlap just a little bit in the middle. No big deal, because you've got this black grill piece that comes across and hides it really nicely. As you can see, you see a little overlap there, just a little bit, you can see right there. And then once I get that in, I get the 42, the little Chip Ganassi decal here, this headlight here, nice. And then there's this little tiny blue strip right here that I was able to cut out and put in place right on top of the green there. Yeah, ideally it would come along here. I think this blue is supposed to come up a little bit more, but oh well, it is what it is, right? And then the Sunoco and the Lincoln and the 3M decals were separate, so I could lay those in place exactly where they need to go. Guys, I was so excited to put this on earlier this morning, and then to lay these decals on top of it in layers. And I am just so excited with how this is turning out. This is really, it's a time-consuming car, no doubt. But at the end of the day, it is going to be one of my better customs, and I am so excited to work with it, work with a decal set, a design that looks like this. So I've got to work this back piece here. I've got to get this in place, and you can see how this teal is going to go on. This lime green of sorts needs to come around and tie into the sides here. So I've got to work that. That's one of the next things I'm going to do. You can see it's going to have to be trimmed up a little bit and separated out, but not a big deal. I can do that. And then once that gets in place, then I can put these other pieces on, right? This the tail lights, the Advent Health, the number 42, this piece here can go in place. The only thing I don't like about this decal set, honestly, is this Cup Series banner that doesn't have the Chevy logos in the corners like it's supposed to. So that's disappointing. I'm going to try to find the Chevy logos. I think I've got some of those, and I'll get those and put those in. But yeah, really happy with how this is turning out. And if you're a custom designer, that is definitely the preferred way of doing things, as opposed to kind of designing it like this. I mean, you could, but it's a little bit easier, and it's a little bit more helpful for a very particular die-cast builder, when you can have these decals separated out and you can lay them exactly where you want them. So yeah, very happy about that coming together. So I had a question about sealing up these cars, and so I wanted to show you guys real quick how I go about doing that and putting the sealer on. So I've got this Garrett Smithley Towers custom that I just decaled last night, and I haven't put any sealer on it. So let me get that going here. So let me back up just a little bit. So got my clear sealer, and I've got my brush. And if you see, this is a different brush. I trashed my sealing brush the other day. The bristles were falling out left and right, and it was getting really small. And I had been using it for years, and it was kind of, it's weird. I'm weird like this. Get a little sentimental value with your tools. And so I had a little moment where I burned it. I burned my brush and threw it in the trash, and thanked it for its service for the last few years. But I needed to move on to a better brush. So, oh well, a little corny like that. But anyways, yeah. So I don't have anything on here, and basically one of the nice things about the display case, right, is I can just hold it like this, and it's a little bit easier to apply the sealer around the car, because your fingers, at least my fingers, are a little fat, and they get on the, I hold them on the tires, and so this way I can get them completely out of the way and be really precise with how I seal it. And honestly, guys, this is pretty much how I do it for each and every car I do. I have this brush, and I put multiple coats of this the Pledge Floor Care product on it. And then at times, after I get 2 or 3 coats of this on it, depending upon just what it looks like, and it's not always the exact same procedure each time, but I look at using either the Tamiya X22 or the Testors gloss coat, top coat, and I can put a coat of that on, maybe 2 coats, depending upon what it looks like, right? And so the finished product gets anywhere from 2 to 3 coats of this Pledge Floor Care, and then 1 coat of the Testors, and then inevitably, there's some, I don't say swirl marks, but there's some little areas that may not be consistent, and that's when I go back with this almost said it again, Pledge Floor Care finish product, and that seems to smooth things out, because sometimes the X22 and the Testors is a little thicker, and it's not always consistent, right? As good as I think I am, I can't always get it as the same thickness all the way around the car, and sometimes the shine looks a little bit different. But to go back over it with the Pledge Floor Care will kind of help that final coat really pop. So yeah, and this is how I do it. I brush it on with this brush. It's a water. All of these products except the Testors is a water soluble product. If I use the Testors gloss coat, I've got to clean my brush. I use a different brush, and that's for enamel based, and I clean it with the paint thinner. So, but the Pledge and the X22, Tamiya X22, I can just clean my brush with water. But yeah, this is pretty much what I do. This is 1 coat, and like I said, it'll get multiple coats, and that's that. I mean, you can already see after 1 coat, it's looking a lot glossier. So, yeah. And maybe in my next video, I'll probably do a video on Sunday. I'll show you guys what it looks like after a couple more coats, and yeah. So, I really like this car. Really like that. Let's see. Maybe you saw in the background here, Kyle, I've got your cars primed and painted. Let's see. Move this over here. Got this number 18 celebrating 75 years. That's done. This particular car, I like to paint the back green on the Avengers, and then I'll come across and I'll paint this front red. So if I have any seams, it's usually right around the headlights. If I have any seams when I'm laying these red decals in place, the what's behind it will be red. So, and then of course in and around these windows I'll try to touch up red, but I'll do my best with that, Kyle. These are all the Sublime Green. Really happy with the way this has turned out. The Sublime Green is a really nice paint, really nice product that gets finished really sharp whenever I do it correctly, that is, which basically is 1 light coat, and I say light coat, of the Rust-Oleum white primer, underneath and on the top. I let that dry, usually, I don't want to say a half a day, but at least a half a day. and then I put a coat of, just a quick coat of the clear sealer over it, and that just adds another barrier and helps this final Tester Sublime Green top coat adhere really nicely and not get compromised by the primer in any way. And so very happy with how that's turned out. And it dries so fast. I mean, I painted this just a few hours ago and it seems like it's ready to roll. So real happy with that. Lastly, I am working another one of these AJ Allmendinger jackpots. I've got one up on eBay right now, and I see that the bidding's going pretty well, and so I figured I might as well make another one and send a second chance offer to whomever wins that. And so you can see the Purplicious is just incredible. I also noticed that I am going to do something a little bit different, because the Jackpot Party decal that goes on the hood is a little bit different from what was actually on the decal set, vice what was driven on the track. It's not 100% the same, so I'm adjusting this particular custom to be more, I think, more like what was driven on the track. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. And I've got this painted. I use my spray paint this time, and it's not as pink, I think, but it's a little bit more consistent and easier. I just sprayed that side and sprayed that side. A little bit got inside, but that won't be seen. So that's where I'm at with this custom. Also, Nick, I don't know if you've seen my emails, but I've been trying to reach you. You had requested these two cars. Not Nick P. Nick P., your cars are in the mail today, but a different Nick. Haven't heard from you. Usually I give you another week or so, week and a half, and if I don't hear from you, these are probably going to go up on eBay. So that's what's going on there. So, all right, guys, that is everything I have for this video. I appreciate you all. I see that my last few videos have had a lot more comments, a lot more interaction. I think that's awesome. And my subscribers are I'm getting close to 600 subscribers. And that's just, I never really set any expectations when I started this channel a couple years ago, which, I think next month it'll be 2 years. But it's just great. And again, I'm all about encouraging you guys on building your own customs. Sure, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love making customs, and I love selling the customs to people, who want to add, a nice product to their collection. But at the end of the day, if you have the patience, the wherewithal, the desire to start building your own customs, that's really what I want to encourage you guys to do. So check out my videos. I've got hundreds of videos now on my channel, and showing you guys, how I do things, truly step by step in some cases how I do things. So go ahead and look at that stuff. Search my channels or my videos, and you'll find hopefully some things that will help you. I think I've covered absolutely everything. I'm always willing, though, to take requests and suggestions on future videos on what to cover. If you guys haven't seen something in a while, that's fine. But I'm just amazed at how many people have subscribed to this channel. I think it's awesome, and I'm excited to do these videos each and every time that I do. So, yeah, if you haven't subscribed, drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment if you got a question or anything you want to add to the channel. Just excited to do this hobby and to have the connection with you guys. I so appreciate you all. God bless you, and we will talk to you in the next video. Take care.